Hello everyone, my name is Emwesere. Today I'll be talking about things to know before starting your first job. These actually are things that I should have known. I feel I should have known before I resumed on my first job. It would have helped me in a lot of ways and made life easier for me, like by a lot. Instead, I had to learn on the job and kind of like adapt to different situations and cope with things I should have stopped, cope with different things that I unknowingly started by myself, but I shouldn't have done, and I ended up reaping the consequences. If this video sounds like something that you would be interested in, please try as much as possible to watch till the end, because I'm going to be giving 2 extra tips on how to like get out of situations that you shouldn't have been in the first instance. If this is your first time of watching one of my videos, please try to subscribe, because it is not really that hard. You just click the subscribe button, and if you end up liking the video at the end of the day, please do well to like the video too and click the notification button so that whenever I upload a new video, you'll be able to know. YouTube will alert you that, yeah, she uploaded video, come and watch it, that kind of thing. And without much ado, let's get right into the video.
And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll help you.
The first thing I feel like I should have known before I started the job, I started working, is that not everyone will like you. In short, you should be prepared to meet a lot of people that would not like you or would not really care about your opinion, and you have to cope with having to prove yourself over time, at least for the first 3 months of the job. Those are usually the most defining periods of the job. What used to happen in most cases is this: there is always a situation that happened that warranted there being a vacancy that you applied to. So you have to like get used to the fact that either someone in the office wanted the job but did not get it, they chose to hire somebody else. Someone left the job before you got there. Then the third one is this: maybe someone got sacked, so you got employed. So you should not expect antagonism from people that were loyal to someone that felt they should have gotten the job, or someone that quit from the job, or somebody that got sacked from the job. So in cases like that, you should always be fine and just face your work. You should understand the fact that you are there to work, and you should do what you're supposed to do and get out of the office once it is time to leave. That's number one. Then the second thing I want you to understand is this: set boundaries. Don't start what you cannot finish. That's the word. Don't start what you cannot finish. Don't start being overzealous. You have to understand, you have to decide. Choose. Do you want to work overtime? If you know it, after some time into the job, you will feel like working overtime. If you know you're not comfortable with working overtime hours, don't do it. Don't even start. Once it is time to close, get up and leave immediately. Don't wait after closing hours. If you know you're not that kind of person and it's not something that you can keep up with at the end of the day, don't do it. Nobody does that at all, seriously, because it is the energy you start with that they will expect you to keep up with. So in a sure by you start with the kind of energy that you cannot maintain, it's going to affect you in the long run. Because when you start cutting back on your efforts and everything and start acting like everyone else, it will start looking like you have stopped being efficient and you're not doing your job right or something, that kind of thing. So don't start what you cannot finish. Don't do it at all. The second thing is, if you enjoy eating, if you are interested in your break time, that working for long hours at a stretch without going for break, without taking a break from work, don't do it. Don't do it at all. Don't do it, because it's going to affect you in the long run. They would expect you to continue how you started. that kind of thing. And you cannot afford to be in situations where you're not comfortable and then it seems like you are suffering, or you're working harder than everyone else and you're not getting the right remunerations, or you're not being appreciated for it. Don't do it at all. I understand the urge to want to overperform and outperform what is expected of you when you get the job at first, but take it from someone that has experience, that has been there before. It will not pay you at the long run. And besides, you have to consider your health. Also, your health is important to you, so take those into consideration actually. Except if you're someone that it's something you want to do, it's something you are fine with and everything, and you're just that kind of person that cannot seem to stop working. In cases like that, you can keep up with it. By all means, if something you enjoy doing, do it, no problem. Then there's another thing that I also want to stress under setting boundaries is this. There are going to be situations where because you are new and all, you have to help people, or people will ask you to help them in some specific tasks. I would say you should mind how you respond to people like that. In cases like that, there's a very high possibility that when it turns out to be that you can do it well, you can perform the task well, there is a very high probability that they will start asking you to do it. So jobs that are not in your job description, don't try to expand like immediately, except of course if your boss is asking you to, that is fine. But in cases where it is somebody else in your office that is asking you to help them to do it, don't do it. I would share my personal experience. Okay, when I initially when I initially started at my job, there was a particular department that wasn't even in my department because I work in construction and maintenance. There was this particular department, that's the logistics department, and they were asking me to come help them to do something in the office. And of course, at first they took permission from my boss, and my boss said, yeah, it was fine because, okay, goodness, can you help them, because I was not really doing much at the time, and because my workload hadn't increased at that point in time. So my boss asked me to help them to do it. It happened like a couple of times after that. When my boss went on leave, right, those people came to ask me directly, okay, please, can you please come help us to do this? And I was like, yeah, no problem, okay, because I'm not busy right now, I can help you. After that, the next week after that, they came again, and then what I was hearing was this: yes, oh yeah, quickly come and do something, like it's your job now. And I was like, come on, no. I told them point blank, it's not my job at all. This should not be any of my business. I am helping you to do it. So you need to be able to set boundaries like that, or else people will walk all over you, and then before you know what's happening, you start doing things for people and you make them look good, but your own tasks that you're supposed to do, you'll be able to do it at the end of the day because you won't have time to do it. So mind the way you are helpful. I'm not saying you don't help, but mind how you help people. That's the thing. Don't make it a regular thing. That's what I need to say. Then another point is this: you need to study your environment while being yourself. It is important to understand the environment you are in, and that would help you to know how to act accordingly. Because the kind of workplace I have, it was kind of like cool. The kind of workplace I am here currently, yeah, where I work currently, the working environment is actually cool because like employees kind of like are very close knit, and people do a lot of things together and everything. If there are things that you mind and that you can afford to do, of course do it and all, but that does not still mean you lose yourself while doing it. You shouldn't have to like be over pleasing, and you should know when to say no to things. It's not everything that comes that you get to say yes with. If you're not comfortable with it, be open, of course. Learn to adapt to your environment, but still be yourself at the end of the day. That's what I need to say, because you need to understand that people are studying you, and it's how you're presenting yourself, how you're representing yourself. That's how they're going to treat you at the end of the day. That is it. Another thing is this, that is extremely important is this: establish the reputation of diligence and efficiency. That trumps everything I've been saying since morning, for reals. You have, especially for the first few months that you're gonna be, they're gonna be doing the job. You have to be diligent and efficient. If you decide to be lazy, fine, no problem, that's you. But I would strongly advise that you try as much as possible to be efficient. People have to be able to, in the space of 3 months that you got the job, that you started the job, in the space of 3 months at the job, people have to be able to refer to you as a problem solver. You have to be able to solve problems, procure solutions to different problems. Maybe you make tweaks and some things. You make tweaks in some processes, and they have to feel your impact. The people have to be able to trust you, to be able to depend on you. That okay, when I go and meet this person, when you ask this person is going to have solution for it. Although you should also limit it. I learned to field some tasks and everything. But so long as you are aware of some procedures, or you are aware for everything that concerns you, let's say like that, put it like that. For everything that concerns you, you have to be efficient at it. You need to be able to develop trust, a certain level of trust at your job. You have to be efficient, deliver reports on time, meet goals as I when due, be legit. Like you'll be able to know, yeah, this girl. So it also helps. That's how to build your reputation. Whenever you are being talked about, you need to be able to be confident that okay, when they're talking about you, you'll be able to say, yeah, no, this girl, she's trying. And this person, no, this person is diligent. No, this person is dependable. No, this person can do this. This person can do that. Believe me, it will open a lot of opportunities for you, meaning that you get a lot of relevant tasks and all that would help you build experience in the long run and everything. It will make life easier for you by a lot, because the more people will get to depend on you, is the more people will give you more jobs, the more your boss will delegate some tasks to you. By so doing, you get to become better at your job, you gain more experience that would be useful for you in the future, and life would be easy for you. In cases like that, when you make excuses that okay, I can't come to work today and everything, people will understand, because you're not a lazy person generally. So whatever excuse you give for not being at work is going to fly immediately, because they know you and they know what you can do and your job. And even when you finally start having issues at the job, your reputation precedes you already. Your reputation has already preceded you, so it would give you a lot of ease in cases like that. That's one. The fifth point is this: your boss is the only person that has your back, is the only person that you can trust at your job for the first few days that you're at the job. Over time, you will get to realize, you get to know people, and you get to get used to people to you. But one thing you should be sure of is that your boss is the only person that you can trust, and you should also gain your boss's trust. You have to. It is something that is extremely important. Be overzealous when it comes to your boss. Pretty much. Be overzealous when it comes to your boss, because your boss is the one that is going to speak for you in cases where you would need a promotion, maybe in some cases where you would need a reference, that kind of thing. Your boss has to be able to trust you, to give you tasks, to give you things to do. Your boss is one that is going to refer you to talk about you. That is going to evaluate you at the end of the year to HR and everything. Your boss is the one that has control of your work life. That's what I need to understand. Like, accept it honestly, and is the only one willing to support you for the first few months of your job. My boss in my place of work currently was like my lifeline, pretty much, because It was one, practically most of what I know right now, it was one that taught me. And he always told me in the first few months of starting the job, he was always willing to like show me things, let me know a lot of things and all. And apart from that, it was kind of like extremely helpful. And whenever I had issues, my first point of contact was my boss, because you might not even be able to, you might not be in an environment where you'll be able to even trust people, because maybe they might even want to mislead you just to make it look like you don't know what you're doing, that kind of thing. But then my boss always told me, let me know if you need anything. Pretty much, like for the first few months, I had like direct access to my boss, and I was able to learn from him directly. Everything else over time, I had to like self-develop. Over time. You also need to be willing to self-develop. In cases where there will be cases where maybe your boss will just like tell you about something, it is your responsibility. It's your responsibility to research about things like that and know it well, because it's not just telling you like in vain. You have to be able to be willing. You have to be willing to make research and also expand your knowledge. Knowledge acquisition in your first job is extremely important, because it will open you up to opportunities. 8 passes. It shouldn't really be 8, but I should say like misunderstandings are normal. It's normal for you to have misunderstandings with people, and maybe people are not on good terms with you. That is pretty much normal, and that happens a lot in places of work. And in cases like in situations like that, maybe people that you have misunderstandings with, they would want to react to you. Maybe they wouldn't want to be as helpful as they normally were when you were on good terms and all. In cases like that, you need to be calm. You get it? Don't go begging. You don't need to beg. Do you understand? It will pass. Be confident. I'm telling you, for every single person that I have had issues with over time, it passed. It did not last, because you all will see each other every day. You all have to work with each other. At the end of the day, just do what you think is right. If you need to apologize when you need to. But in cases where maybe you apologized, or you try to apologize, or you try to make amends or something, and the person is still giving you attitude, accept it and just move on. Like, not accept it, ignore it. So long as they're not affecting your job directly, ignore it. And in cases where they're affecting your job, it's not hard. They have bosses. Be close to all bosses. Be friendly with all bosses. Be helpful to all bosses. Believe me, it helps like a lot. It helps a lot. Be helpful to all bosses. In cases like that, just go meet their boss and ask for help. And the person that was giving you attitude will be the one to do the job at the end of the day, because the boss will just delegate it to the person, and they wouldn't have a choice than to do what their boss asks them to do. So in cases like that, you'll be fine. But just know that over time, y'all will become friends back. Y'all will settle back. The person is going to get over it, and y'all will continue doing your jobs like nothing happened. And you just have to like put it in mind that there will be some people that you would be close with, and they will turn out to be people that they will turn out to not be what you thought they were. To put it simply, in cases like that, you just have to like accept it and move on. A lot of things that you kind of like have to overlook, and you have to move on from. Life is not hard. Do you understand? So long as somebody is not affecting you professionally, so long as somebody is not affecting your job directly, you don't have any issues with them. If you have issues with them, take it up with their boss. It's that simple. Or at least the best thing that you can do is that you talk to their colleague that they respect about that. Okay, I don't understand why this person is acting like this, and would you please help me to talk to the person, because I've been trying to talk to them and they're still acting up. I don't get it. That kind of thing. And in cases like that, they kind of like talk to each other and they resolve it. And before you know what's happening, the person just comes to me and say, hello, what's up, how are you, did you eat today, that kind of thing. In cases like that, roll with it. It's fine. It happens. That kind of thing. It happens. And you all don't know each other from Adam outside the job, so it's just a job, and your responsibility is to your job, to your work and everything. So do your job and get out of the office. That's pretty much it. because life cannot be hard, and you can't be allowing many things to stress you. That's the point. And besides, peace of mind is important. Take that seriously. One more thing that we're going to talk about is this: develop respect. That's also important. You know, this yes, it depends on your work environment, but there are always going to be people that are in levels below you. That's one. And in cases like that, maybe they might not trust you, or they might not really like you initially. There are two choices that you can make. Either either you gain their respect, or they fear you. I personally would choose them gaining your respect, because believe me, those people that respect you, those people that end up that you end up earning their loyalty, save your heart like 1,001 times. They are the ones that save your heart the most. Let me give an example. Okay, there used to be someone that I know, like in my office. Then initially, before I got my job, I used to be an intern. Just so I was like the lowest of the lowest staff, that kind of thing. I wasn't really even a staff. I was just like a site intern then. So of course I had like bosses and everything. I had like bosses, the artisans and the other ones I was supposed to learn, the artisans and site engineers, I was supposed to learn from them and everything. I was supposed to learn from them. The head foreman then did not like me at all. He did not like me. So now imagine that kind of situation where I now got to be a coordinator and everything in the same company. The beef that he had with me like triple. It was more like, who the heck is this? That what does she know? Where is she coming from? Who does she think she is? That kind of thing. But rather than making start instilling fear and start going to report to my boss, I kind of like and start reporting him and everything. I took it in stride. It did not happen to only him. It was not just a specific person. Those kind of people in that clique, then that they felt like, who does she think she is? This one cannot come and be commanding me. That all stuff rubbish is that one and everything. Rather than reporting them and start exercising one authority that was not going to help me, like in the long run, I chose instead to gain their respect and their loyalty, and that helped me like by a lot. Maybe number one was ways that maybe I could cover them. Maybe they flopped in cases where maybe situations that I used then were situations where maybe they flopped and I could have exposed them, that kind of thing. Instead, I covered them up. Situations where maybe, okay, it was true, okay, yeah, this person is doing something, and then I chose to like participate in it, and then maybe like I give them gifts or something. That was it. There were situations like that, or situations where maybe, okay, what now? Situations where maybe there were things that, okay, that they were not doing right, and I knew about it, and instead like I can't like told them and advised them on how to do it, and at the end of the day it paid off, and they got recognition for it, and I was like, yeah, okay, and then it's just like that they got recognition, they got recognized for it and everything. So rather than sabotaging them and being mean or something, treat them with kindness. Kindness pays like by a lot. Those particular set of people are the people that end up having your back no matter what. And the people that will tell you if somebody's setting a trap for you, they'll be the ones to tell you about it. They'll be the ones to protect you in cases where maybe you are having issues or something. They'll be the ones to give you insights that under normal circumstances you would not have it. They'll be the ones to like go the extra mile for you. so your work can be easier for them. So your job can be easier. They will be in other words, they will be the ones to make life easier for you. Those people that hate you initially when you get the job, believe me, they are the ones you want to win over. Because people that even like you, maybe they might be pretending to like you, even, you never know. But those people that actually show they hate you, while you shouldn't kiss their ass, no, of course no, but look for places where you can be of help to them. Look for situations where you can protect them. Look for situations where maybe they are doing maybe like, okay, maybe look for situations where maybe you can show them love. You can show love to them. Believe me, people do not forget things like that. People do not forget things like that. When you save someone's heart at their job, they never ever forget. They never ever forget. Believe me, it helps by a lot in the long run. That's one. The 8th one is this: learn to write emails. Learn to compose emails correctly. There are a lot of times when the devil might be using someone to try you. You have to be able to reply them like, Satan, get thee behind me. Those kind of mails. You have to be able to send mails that are very professional. You have to like understand English, know the right English to use, the right sentences rather to use. Use English to finish them. If you get what I'm saying, you have to be able to like write the right emails for reals. Compose the right emails. Like, you start with things, it's just where maybe you don't want to help someone. I am sorry, but unfortunately, I am not. Don't be sorry. No, even don't be sorry. You have to be able to reply emails like, unfortunately, I am unable to render assistance to you at this time. Kindly, I trust you to use your intuition to be able to solve this problem yourself. That's another one. As of right now, blah 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 blah. Sequel to our previous discussion. In case like that, you have to be able to use sentences like that. Sequel to our previous discussion. I told you that blah 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 blah. Right now, blah 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 blah. Kindly, blah 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 blah. Don't use please. Try to get also not to use please for reals. Except maybe when you really have to. But you shouldn't use please. Kindly attend to this. Kindly be reminded. Kind reminder. Things like that. And in your subject mails, for action, for information, for your necessary action, urgent, extremely urgent. Learn words. You have to learn words like that, because believe me, they are life. They help you like a lot. You're able to explain things in mails. Write mails, of course, like they have limits, and you should try to be nice to people and be as helpful as you can, so you don't say you have to change something that's bad. Pretty much. That's it. This channel is still relatively new. The thing is this: I have been trying to get this intro and outro thing right. I'm still not there yet, or I feel like I'm not there yet, but I drafted something out. I'm going to be adding in between, of course, so you can tell me what you think about it in the comment section. Thank you for all your support so far, and for the fact that you keep telling more and more people about this channel. I appreciate that. I will see you in a new one, and until then, take care. Of course, maybe it's not really done yet, but please don't forget to like the video and subscribe if it's something you gained from and you learned from, and if it's something that I believe it is something that your friends can learn from too. So feel free to share with them because it's free. Please subscribe. I don't get why you've not subscribed yet. Honestly speaking, I don't get it. I really do not understand. I try to think about it a lot, but the thought is not coming. I don't get it. Come on, subscribe now. It's not hard. Just click the button. Finish. That's all. Thank you very much for watching to this end. I really appreciate the fact that you are around and that you stuck around to this point. It has been a pleasure making this video. Until next time, take care. Bye. I think that will make sense, right? Alright, bye. Take care.